Hollywood Actor Podcast with Lora Martinez-Cunningham, Part 2.
So, when you were coming out of drama school and you started plugging in a little bit to the theater scene, it seems like, were you auditioning regularly for theater, or did you start getting that agent start plugging in a little bit more to the Hollywood film industry?
I auditioned here and there. I was doing a play at the Hudson main stage on Santa Monica. And I was waiting in the wings. I was in the opening scene. And I remembered feeling like I just was not having fun. And I told myself that night, waiting in the wings, do not ever audition for theater again. You do not love this. The reason I was doing it was because I felt that I had to do theater in order to prove that I'm a real actor. To feel legit, I felt I had to have theater. Plus, I'm trained in theater, so, it just came naturally. But actually doing it, I don't love it. I just don't. I love film. I love film. It excites me and entices me and inspires me. I don't feel that way about theater. So after that run was done, I remember it was during when September 11th happened. I will always remember all of us in the cast outside holding candles. So since 2001, never again theater, because I just didn't love it. That was it.
You had a visceral reaction to that.
Yeah.
What do you think
the nerves,
was
it was
about it?
nerves, of course. Your nerves before you. I still feel nerves sometimes and have to calm myself, even for auditions. But that was just nerves associated with, what am I doing? What am I doing?
What am I doing? Yeah,
what am I doing? I really was just trying to prove something to who? I have no clue.
Right.
Myself, I don't know. I didn't care whether I did theater or not. So, yeah, that was a big one that night for me.
Where'd you pick up the love for film and TV? Was that working with Mark Medoff? Or?
Yes. That was at 3 a.m. out in Old Messiah down some dirt road with the crew all around and everybody working so hard. It was magic. It was magic. That's all I can say. There was the energy, the buzz, it just felt right. That was it.
Wow, real love at first sight type experience.
Yeah. Every moment of it.
beautiful.
Every moment. And I still feel it. And as long as I continue to feel it, I will continue to, pursue it. But if I ever get that feeling that I had in the wings at the Hudson about film, then I'll do something else. I hope I never get it. But no, I'm nowhere even close to that. Even just getting the email, seeing my agent as the sender of an email and it says audition, I still get butterflies to this day. I can't wait to see what it is and what I get to do. And yeah, it's awesome.
So when you were working for the Actors Consortium in Hollywood, were you also working with other types of troupes or classes?
That one took up, no, that was such an all-encompassing experience. That was for 4 years. And
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they're a great group. I think they need more attention if people don't know about them. But Chi Lo is no joke. That man, he knows what he's doing. He taught me lessons that I did not put together until years later, and I would think, oh, this is what he meant. Oh, okay, now I get it. Just because he was so much more experienced than us. So, yeah.
Do you still think of him much as an acting coach? Do you still reach out to him?
I do. I called him a couple of years ago in tears. And I just told him, Chi, you made such a difference in my life. And I just want to tell you, thank you. There are many times where I wanted to choke him. I'm not going to lie. But, yeah, I just told him, thank you. Thank you for everything that you gave. You give so much to every person that is in that group. So thank you. Yeah. And then he called me back and we reconnected. It was really nice.
It's my firm belief that we have to find those mentors, those communities to plug in with on a weekly basis. We really have to be surrounded by people that are better than us to raise us up, to help guide us through this artisan and business landscape, ever changing, but especially as we're growing out of maybe a drama school experience and learning how we fit within the industry too. That's molding us, shaping our perspectives on who we are, forming our identities, and then showing that to the world. Because if we don't know who we are, that puts so much of the pressure on somebody else to formulate who they think we should be. Right.
Which it won't stick because it's not coming from within you. Yeah, that was a big one. And I think that's what my time in Los Angeles really was, just sort of going, okay, I'll try this. No, that's not it. Okay, I'll try this. I used to look in Backstage West before having an agent and would audition for things from Backstage West. It was still a newspaper at the time. On the back page, they would have auditions. And so I saw something for women in bikinis to go. And I, so eager and hungry and desperate, I can put on a bikini. I can do that. I'll go to this one. And someone in my life, a guy I was dating, Jesus, all my stories are tied to men. What the hell? But he...
Open and honest. We appreciate it, Laura.
He was way more into the game than I had been for many years. And he told me, I don't think you should go to that one. And I said, well, why not? I have a bikini. And he said, well, you might want to, I don't know, like tan a little bit or let's go to the gym before this.
Whoa.
Yeah,
I didn't see that coming.
Devastated. I didn't understand it. I was so hurt. Cried, F you, I'm going. I put on my little orange bikini. I went to that thing. Jamie, I looked around in the lobby. There were stunning, completely fit, tanned, toned, like a whole other subtype of women were there. And I went, oh, this is the hot chick audition. I get it now. I'm not the hot chick. I can clean up nice, but I'm not that. And they are not me. So that was a big eye opener. And I started to think then, okay, who am I then? Where do I go? What are my strengths? What am I selling? Like, what do I have? Who am I? And it started to make sense. Where I found joy was not in flaunting, any curves that I might have. Where I found joy was in roles with sincerity, with heart, with pain, intelligence, something that calls for me to know specific technical jargon or, things that I can handle because I just had to figure it out. And that's when it all started to make sense. And I went, okay, I get it. So they go for those and I go over here and this is cool. So he wasn't being totally mean. He was gently trying to prepare me to walk into that room. Oh my God.
Well, it's ironic because a lot of actors, they embrace acting because it allows them to be so many different types of people.
Yes, but in the beginning.
To enter into so many different worlds.
Yes, but exactly.
And then we transition into the business world.
Right. You're going to play close to who you are already. pretty close. When you're more established, you can do your Benjamin Button. You can, like in theater, if I wanted to, I played an 80-year-old woman in a play. And it's all about changing your physicality, your voice, putting the wig, the makeup. You transform, right?
Yeah,
So
theater's
that's
so
what I was
forgiving.
thinking. Yeah, I was like, yeah, and it's a blast. I loved it. But film and TV, when they need a babe in a bikini, it's a specific thing. And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. I don't have to be everything. I just got to be me. So who the hell is that? And
Exactly. You
figure it
found the
out.
right question to ask, but answering that is a lifelong
It is.
pursuit.
Yeah, because it's always changing. Always.
And we always change too.
Yeah,
We grow into different types of people as well,
we do.
which adds complexity to it, but it's a nice pursuit. He who doesn't want the world to change wants to have it destroyed. I saw that somewhere. I think it was on the Berlin Wall.
Well, geez, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I like thinking about change as being the only thing that we can stand by. It's our only constant.
Right.
Thinking about that, pushing ourselves and always learning, because if we decide on something, that's only going to last us for the briefest amount of time. It's only going to help us in the extremest of short terms.
Well, I can tell you that I don't know if we're in the section where I would share something that has made a difference, but doing the work, I always go back to just do the work. I recently had an audition for a role that terrified me. It really touched on insecurities and can I do this? And I don't know. I even considered making up some excuse that I was not going to be in town for the filming dates and I couldn't do it. I considered that and I thought, what the hell are you doing? Do the work and grow. And so I did. I sequestered myself and went back to the basics and what I know. And I went and did it. And it was a breakthrough for me. At this age, a breakthrough.
As an actor, as a person?
Both. I don't think that you can separate the two. I think, but both. Yeah. I had to get over some hurdles, get through some things as a person to be able to, as an actor, give everything that required. And yeah, that is just this last week.
Oh my God. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things about acting I think I most gravitate towards, thinking about it as being a crucible, that we use acting to refine us, to make us better human beings. There's something about that. And I went to drama school at the Stella Adler Studio, and that's very much their mantra is growth as an actor and as a human being are synonymous.
Yeah, that's absolutely what I teach. Like when people say, oh, I love acting because in real life I get to be this way, but as an actor I get to be this way. And then I think, no, that's not true. You're the same person. So the way you are in your real life, whatever you're calling your real life, is exactly how you're going to be as an artist. I don't fall for that. And if I'm ever teaching somebody who says that to me, in our interviews before they come and work with me, I am very focused on helping them see that they are intertwined. That one cannot escape the other, or one cannot exist in the absence of the other. You're the same person. It's one human being. You the human, you the artist, same. So if you're shut down in your life in a certain area, then, it will show in your work. So,
that's why so many actors I know are literally in therapy. It's very useful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Most definitely. I'm right there with you, Jamie.
Taking it back a little bit to some of those first roles that you were starting to book in television and film, was it happening to you in Hollywood?
Yes, I was able to get my SAG card because I could do a certain dance move. So, hey, there it came. The dance did pay off. And then I got 3 days work on a TV show in a dancing scene, but it was an acting/dancing scene. So once I received my SAG card, which was so wonderful, that was such a big deal to me. It still is.
Yeah.
I was able to then get the attention of, a decent agent. And then with that person believing in me, I started auditioning more regularly. And then I think it was Nip Tuck. No. The one that all the women in Hollywood have done. The show in the hospital. What is it? Anyway, that was the first role that I booked. And after that, because each thing that we do, we get confidence and we learn so much. So then we apply it to the next one. And I started auditioning, sometimes going straight to producers. Things were going finally after so many years, 10, 12 years, things were starting to happen. But I wasn't happy or fulfilled. And I think a lot of people can relate to living in I was in a studio apartment for 9 years. Then I finally got to move up to a 1-bedroom that I could afford. And, just having strangers all around me, above me, below me, and to each side. Hearing when people flush their toilets, when they have sex, when they argue, when they watch TV and you can hear it through the walls. That was just starting to feel very empty. And I'm also a person of just a few friends. I'm not very social, so I would not get out much. I had a few friends. We would do things, but it's just so, are you on the list kind of crap? And oh God. So anyway, there was an earthquake. And it was pretty substantial. And I was in Las Vegas in one of those apartment complexes on stilts. For God's sake, I don't know how those things where we park underneath and we're just on sticks. The whole 3-story complex.
Earthquake?
No, it was not Northridge. It was after. I don't even know. It was big enough to shake the building in the middle of the night. And I thought, okay, so the big one is coming. If this was the big one right now, where would I want to be? And the answer was so clear. It was with my family. So I thought, okay, if that's where I want to be in my last moment when I'm dying, why am I not there while I'm alive? What sense does that make? And it was at that time that I started to consider moving back to New Mexico because my whole family is here. Everybody, mom, dad, brother, sister, nieces, nephew, cousins, everybody. And it took 2 more years for me to finally make the move because I was actually auditioning and booking here and there. It was hard to let that go because we work for so long, for so hard, just to even get in the door, that it was a struggle to say, all right, you know what? I'm just going to let go of all this and start over and go home for quality of life. That's what brought me back. Quality of life. It did not matter if I ever booked another role again. Life is bigger than all of it. And the people that matter to me are here. So that's it.
And had you been bouncing between markets?
For the 2 years I was, yeah. For the 2 years, but it didn't really start to take off until, I flew in for a workshop with Jo Edna Bolden while I still lived in LA. She's one of our casting directors here, but the one with the most experience. And that workshop is the one that changed everything for me, even in LA. What she taught in that workshop is what caused a shift. It's like my life before that workshop and my life after that workshop.
Mm.
Yeah, it was life-changing. Not just career or actor, life-changing.
Yeah, set up a new paradigm for you.
Yes, it did. And that's when I started booking things in LA. After studying with someone here.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay.
Well, increasingly, it's less where you are and more who you are. You know,
I
who that
think
person
so.
is, if they resonate with you, if
Yeah.
they have that insight, it doesn't matter where they are, how you're connecting with them, as long as you are with them,
Right.
connecting
Yes.
with them
Mhm.
in their community, you know. Always coming back to that idea of community, I think.
Are you lonely, Jamie?
Well, Los
I'm
Angeles
getting
is a
worried
very
about you.
isolating place, you know.
It is.
Um,
Oh my God.
I
How
lived in
many?
London and New York, and those are much
Oh,
more smaller neighborhoods where people pass each other on the streets. And Los Angeles, it just doesn't have that air to it.
no.
You know, you don't walk very much. You don't meet at the same venues. I mean, there are handfuls of different types of, only a handful of stand-up venues that people go to regularly, or a handful of equity playhouses people go to regularly. So it is a little small in some regards. Or just a small amount of big film festivals in Hollywood, which blew my mind. So you do run into people here and there, but on a regular basis, keeping people in your life, it's definitely something that everybody has to really put a lot of energy to. And some people just, they don't, that's not who they are. That's not what they need. For me and for other people I meet, I think it is something that we need. And I really do believe that it helps the business person in their life and in their business progress, learn, succeed. I mean, there are a lot of geniuses that can live by themselves and create things out of nothing and put them on YouTube or create a patent for themselves or whatever, and they flourish. But I think that is the exception that proves the rule. I think there's much more of a long-standing historical sense of people building communities and succeeding because of the strength in numbers of that very faithful community. And I think independent film has definitely showed me a lot of that as well. I've been fortunate enough to work on a lot of independent shorts and independent features, and I think they're fueled by faith and trust and community. Or some of these larger productions, they are more of the business side of things. Everybody just shows up, does their job, goes home, and they find those familiar working relationships, but the product does not necessarily rely upon those relationships, as far as I've gleaned. Where in independent movies, it really does. It lives and dies by those relationships.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's
Most
my little
definitely.
rant
Yeah.
about the independent film world and community. But I truly believe that. And everybody I've been talking to, there is a sense of that. No matter how large or small that truth is for everybody, there definitely is that kernel of truth I have been finding along the way. And so that's really exciting that you were able to really identify that for yourself. That's where the seed of your truth was, and it was in New Mexico. And you
It was
found
with
that.
family.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. And I do have, one of my best, most dear friends is still in LA, but she comes and stays with me every year. And I go visit her. But other than her and a handful of others, I don't think anyone would have known if I had died and was rotting in that one bedroom in Las Vegas, And how long would it have taken, for someone to come and notice that I wasn't there? That was, yeah. And as, like we were saying earlier, we change. And as I was changing, what started to become more important, it was always important, but more apparent how important it is, was my family, truly.
And it was giving you that quality of life you were saying, which definitely contributes to the foundation of us show business people, because our
Yes.
personal lives are so closely interwoven with our our business lives. And so that was probably leading to you finding that success within the TV and film industry that Hollywood is bringing to New Mexico. It seemed like when you were in New Mexico, you were starting to build your career through some of these smaller budget feature films, though. And they increasingly became larger and larger budget feature films, which led into some of the TV that increasingly came to New Mexico. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about your career, your journey through all that.
Well, I think the game changer was the Book of Eli. That's when I was able to then read for just more, because it was exposure and just something that I guess allowed people to trust me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, if she, could work with Denzel, then yeah, I guess I could trust her to, do this, that type of thing. That's really where I started to feel like things were picking up, or just more doors, more opportunities, considered for more. Because here, we're starting to read for larger things, but they're all still cast in LA and New York. They really are. And at the time of the Book of Eli, we were reading for even smaller things. So just the fact that they even considered me for that was a huge deal. It was a wonderful opportunity. And that was Jo Edna Bolden, the woman who changed my life. Yes. So, yeah.
Well, she originally came from Los Angeles, right?
No, Texas.
Texas, really? Yeah, I didn't know that.
She's a Texan. Yeah, she'd spent time in LA, absolutely, and worked in LA. But, yeah, Texas is where she established herself.
Do you think that helped yourself at all, meeting different casting directors in Los Angeles that then, local casting directors in New Mexico maybe had a relationship with, or agents in New Mexico had a relationship with?
Yes, absolutely. Because they could tie it in and say, okay, well, you worked with her on, the 3 or 4 credits that I had. But with those casting directors, yes, absolutely. They were able to.
Gave more ammunition.
A little bit, yeah. Or a lot, probably.
Or a lot, okay.
I don't know. I didn't hear the conversations, but I imagine that even just for them to look at my resume and go, oh, I cast her years ago in that. Okay.
Yeah. And I was also seeing on your resume, obviously, there were some independent features I was really excited about. Like one was called Drunktown's Finest with Sydney Freeland, who's a New Mexico native, but she's doing very well in Los Angeles, went through the AFI program.
Yes, she's awesome.
Sense with Chris Boone, who he's a contributor for No Film School.
I love Chris. Yes, that was
Chris
so
is
much
amazing.
fun. Yeah.
He's such a nice guy. He was able to interview Alejandro for No Film School, help connect the dots with that. Yeah. It's really good trying to, put the spotlight on New Mexico and the independent film scene there, which is fantastic. I'd love if you could talk about Drunktown's Finest or 14 Cameras or Sense, like these independent feature films made in New Mexico.
Yeah. So let's see. Sense was a lot of fun because it highlighted our younger actors. And it was just a really good, heartfelt story about doing the right thing and, coming of age. And I remember, I was the Principal Martinez, I think, or Principal, I don't remember. But Chris is just wonderful and a great director, too. Just kind of lets us do our thing, and then gives his notes and then steps back and lets us play. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun working with the younger girls, too. Yeah, who are now older. Almost 20,
a couple
probably.
Years ago.
Yep. And then 14 Cameras. I saw 13 Cameras as part of my research,
Right.
Because I got the audition and I was like, 14 cameras, what is this? And so it said, if you want to know, look at 13 cameras. So I looked at 13 cameras and I said, ooh, this is creepy. I like it. I would love to do this. So auditioned and got to do that.
And you're getting a lot of opportunities to work on a lot of the television that passes through New Mexico too, like Graves, Midnight Texas, Tagged, The Unsettling.
Yes, they're so fun. Yes, The
Unbelievable.
Unsettling is such a fun one. Hopefully it'll have a U.S. release, a domestic release. Right now it's Portugal and something else with HBO.
Oh, right. Well, I noticed that it was the same production company, Awesomeness TV, and Tagged was on Go 90 for a time. So I didn't know if both of those were for Go 90 or what Awesomeness TV is doing these days. They seem like they're on the hunt creating tons of really creative content.
Yeah. I gotta say, this is where I step away from things. I have never been, and I don't know if it's to my own detriment or not, but one of the actors who keeps track of what studio is where and who swallowed up who and what this is being produced by who. And I don't concern myself with it. I just think I don't even have enough headspace for it, to be honest. I'm just not that interested, because all I know is if it reaches me and somebody thinks, oh, here, she can audition for this, then I book it, then I will work. But other than that, I just don't have it in me to know those kind of things. I
just wondered if the same production company, they got to know you on Tagged, so then they wanted to at least see you for some of the other productions that they were.
I see what you're saying.
They were building.
Right. I don't know. I have no idea.
Being brought on as like a member of their production company in a small way, or at least a contractor that they like working with.
Yeah. Hopefully I earned my way in, but I don't know if that's how it went down.
But I wanted to know, because Tagged is an extremely well thought of show that was originated in New Mexico.
Yes. Now that's my
Hannah
friend.
McPherson.
Yes. You
know
want to
her.
talk to a badass, you need to call Hannah. Hannah is... She's amazing, but she's also got a wicked sense of humor. So that's why I laugh.
Yeah.
She started with a web series called Date Doctor and just created her own content, and it got a huge following, and I forget what she did after that, but it had more to do with the teenagers and the phones and the social media, and then from that came Tagged. But she's just a force. If you can talk with Hannah, I think that you would have a really great interview for people to hear. She used to come and be the guest director in the class that I teach.
Oh.
And we would get to work, together regularly. And it was just so much fun. So much fun.
I heard a little bit about her from Rebecca Wiggins. They're
Yeah.
both pretty good friends. But Tagged went from Go 90 to Hulu, and now Hannah's working on episodic TV. Trinkets, I think, which just was on Netflix.
Yes, I just sent her a text the other day with a big lump in my throat because I watched Trinkets, and I saw at the end of episode 7 and 8, I believe, or 6 and 7, directed by, and her name came up, and I just, was so happy and started to cry and sent her a text.
It's incredible, yeah.
Yeah, it's a long time coming for a lot of us. We've known each other a long time, been putting in a lot of work. So, yeah, it's great.
Thanks for listening to the Hollywood Actor Podcast. If you enjoy this content, don't forget to rate and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening.